Hello and welcome to After the Fact. I'm Tony Soldano, Senior Pastor of All People's Church in the fastest growing city in Canada, Brampton, Ontario. Well, this week I want to share some thoughts with you about this word tolerance. You know, it is the buzzword in our society. And this past week I was once again introduced to another dose of tolerance. This past week, we attended a ministerial breakfast with the mayor of our city. And the people there were pastors and leaders and Christian people in general. And this whole idea of tolerance came up once again. The mayor of our city, who was just really newly elected, serving now in her 22nd year, began to talk about what a great city we lived in and how the city was tolerant and, how it accepted all faith groups. And she began to talk about speaking at a Indian festival celebrating Diwali, which I thought was very interesting that the mayor would talk about Diwali, which is the celebration of the goddess of light in the Hindu faith, to Christian leaders and people that believe that Jesus Christ is the light. But in fairness to her, she wasn't making any disparaging remarks. It was just more about how great our city is and how tolerant our city is. Not 30 minutes later, the guest speaker rose up and began to talk about some motivational things with us. And in the midst of her talk, who, by the way, she was a Christian, happened to mention the word Christmas. And so tongue-in-cheek, she apologized to Christian leaders and pastors for using the word Christmas. So here we have, in a span of 30 minutes, the mayor talking about tolerance and in her freedom to talk about the goddess of light to a bunch of pastors and Christian leaders, and then a Christian that apologized for using the word Christmas. And in the span of 30 minutes, I really realized that, quite frankly, this word tolerance is nothing more than a sham and a hoax. Really, the definition of tolerance is this: Christians stand down and stand back and give everybody else a chance and give them their time because you've had your time as believers. And the fact of the matter is, the reason we've had our time is that this nation, the very foundations of Canada and America altogether, is based on biblical truth and freedoms. And there's no denying that. That is in the history books. So when we talk about tolerance, it really becomes clear that everything is tolerated except for when it seems to come to Christ, Christians, and the Bible. And no season communicates that better than Christmas. We can't say the word Christmas. They don't want us to put up Christmas trees. They'd rather we say happy holidays. They'd rather we make it some great big event because we don't want to, some generic event because we don't want to offend anybody. Can I ask you a question? How could anybody be offended at the thought of God loving the world so much that he sent his only begotten Son, not to condemn us, but to save us? That message should be received with gratefulness and gratitude, not a reason to be offended. So, as believers, I don't think we should be intimidated. I don't think we should step back. This season, say Merry Christmas, put up a Christmas tree, put up lights, do whatever you can to demonstrate the love of Christ, because we need to redefine this word tolerance. I'm Tony Soldano, and this has been After the Fact.